All right, you guys, can you hear me? I do not see myself here. I just see we're working out the technology issues right now, so just bear with me as we get started. Okay, you can hear me. Awesome. So this is the first time. Can you see me? Let me know if you can see me, because I can't see myself on the screen. Let me bring me on my phone here. This is the first time I'm using this webinar technology to do Facebook Live and not using my phone. So let's see here. Okay, you guys can see me. So there, because I can see myself on the phone here. There will be a little bit of delay. So at the end, we'll go through some questions, but I'll have to get on my phone and see what these questions are. Okay. I want to give it a couple more minutes for more people to hop on. Hey, Fiona, Heidi, Shannon, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited. Got my cup of coffee here. Just dropped off the kids at school. Whew. All right. Now I need to turn myself off on my phone, else I'm going to hear myself talk. How do I do this? Now I need to turn myself off on my phone, else I'm going to hear. There we go. All right, I'm putting myself right here. Lunchtime there, you must be on the East Coast. I'm just having my first cup of coffee. Okay. Let me do share screen. I have a PowerPoint presentation that I put together for you guys. Get this up. All right, there we go. There I am. And let me tell you, you can get some really great pictures for your website just by using your iPhone, because that's what I use for the pictures on my website. And this picture you see right here, it is just from using my iPhone. And I had a friend come over who takes a lot of great pictures of her kids, and she totally helped me with this. So this is something that you can totally do. You just need some good lighting. All right. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. I know we're going to have some more people who are going to hop on as I go here. We're going to talk about the 5 types of businesses that you can start at home. All right, so the goals for this webinar, let's go through this really quick. First is just to introduce you to different types of businesses that you can start at home. There might be some things that you've never even really thought of before, or you're going to see as I talk about this and as I go through the end that these different types of businesses, the 5 different types, they actually can be matched together where one can support the other, one can drive traffic to the other. So we're going to talk about them as 5 separate things, but at the end I'm going to show you a little bit about how we can match them together. I'm going to briefly discuss the possibilities of each type of business and give you some solid business building tips that you can apply to each type of the business. So make sure that you stay to the end, because I'm going to give you about 3 or 4 of my top tips that really are going to apply across all business types. So first, let me just give you briefly what youaremorethanmom.com is about. A lot of you guys in this group are new. We've had a ton of new people in the group over the last week. So let me give you just a brief overview. So the mission is twofold. The first is to give support to moms who used to be career-driven professionals and now have stayed home with their kids, okay? So that is me. I left my career to be at home with my kids. I'm gonna tell you about that in a minute. But what I want to show you through You're More Than Mom is that you are more than mom. And I think it's sometimes a really hard transition to leave your career, something that you work so hard for, that you worked for years in, that you went to school for like, in my case, 5 years to get my architecture degree. And now you're at home and you're mom and you love that, but your identity used to be so wrapped up in who you used to be as a professional. And now your identity might be more wrapped in who you are as mom, but it can be kind of confusing because I don't know about you, but sometimes when people come up to me and they say, oh, hi, Gina, and this is the first time I've met them, right? And I'll be like, oh, hi, it's nice to meet you. And then they'll say, oh, what do you do? Like, I almost start to freeze up because I'm like, what do I say? Do you say, oh, I'm a residential home designer, or I'm a mom? Or because if I tell them I'm mom, they don't know about my background and some of my passions. And so the idea is that we are actually more than mom. And I want to show you through youaremorethanmom.com that your identity doesn't come from being a mom or professional, but actually exists in who God created you to be. Because being a professional and being a mom, those are roles that change with the seasons, right? So we need to ground ourselves on something that doesn't change, and that is God, and He doesn't change. And no matter what we're doing, our identity is not based on what we're doing, but it's based on who God says we are. So our second mission at youaremorethanmom.com is to show you how you can start a business from home using your God-given talents, skills, knowledge, and passions, and still keep your family as your first priority. Now, this is very important to me because none of us decide to become stay-at-home moms to now start a business at home and work 80 hours a week. That's not why we decided to stay home. We wanted to be home because we wanted to be home with our kids. So one of my missions is really to show you how to start a business from home and not have it bleed into your family time, to be able to separate your time and say, okay, I can put away 30 minutes to an hour every day to build my business. And when my husband comes home from work or my kids are home from school, that I am absolutely present and with them. So who am I? Again, my name is Gina Whitehouse. I'm the creator of youaremorethanmom.com. A lot of this just really, like I said, came out of my own experience and coming out of the difficulties I've had and wanting to share it with others. So I have two businesses. One of my businesses is that I'm a health and fitness coach. I have a partnership with a direct sales company, and I'm also a business coach for stay-at-home moms. And my goal is to show you that your degree does not define you. And this is just, how would I say, like a quick little slogan that I like to say. Your degree does not define you. And I think it's very easy for us, especially as women who went to college or to school for a long time, to think that we are so stuck in the degree or the knowledge, the profession that we did before, and that we can't either translate that to something we can do at home, or that we can't reinvent ourselves. And we can absolutely reinvent ourselves and do things that align with our passions. So here you'll see in the corner is my husband. I have two kids, my son who just turned 3, my daughter who just turned 6. And one of the things we like to do is we like to go out hiking. We'll throw our boy in our backpack and have fun. And that's just one of our family passions, is to get out there and get active. So, and I should probably also tell you a little bit about myself before I was mom. I used to work as a residential home designer. Like I said, I got my architecture degree from Cal Poly Pomona, and worked in the architecture profession for many years as a designer. And it was during that time, actually, that I went back to school and got a graduate certificate in biblical studies. So I went to Talbot Seminary at Biola University, and so part of my education is in that too. So what are we going to cover today? We're going to talk about blogging. I know I have a lot of bloggers in here. We're going to talk about direct sales, selling products on websites like Etsy, eBay. We're going to talk about coaching, consulting, providing services for people, and digital and information sales. So I'm going to just tell you right now, my wheelhouse is really direct sales, coaching, consulting services, and digital and information sales. I did some research here for you to give you more info on things like selling products on Etsy. I've never done that before. I've considered it with a business that I had in the past that I ended up giving up because I just realized I do not want to be in the food business. So I've never actually sold on Etsy. I blog, but I don't blog for the sake of blogging. Like, my goal is not to blog 3 times a week or get a blog out there every day. Instead, like you'll see as we go through this webinar, that I use blogging as a way to bring traffic to the website, to my social media platforms, to get information out, and to get people in this group so we can all learn from each other. All right, so first let's talk about blogging. Do we have any bloggers in here? If we do, comment below. I'd love to see if we've got bloggers in here. Let me bring this back. I got my phone, I need to bring it back bring you guys back on here without me talking.
Let me bring this back. On my phone.
So I'm learning how to do this at the same time. All right, so let's talk about blogging. So blogging is an awesome way to share your passion and a message that God has put on your heart. If you feel very passionate about something, it's so easy to just put a blog together and start writing. If you love to write and share what you're learning, what you're doing, a blog is a great way to do that. Now, blogging just for the sake of blogging doesn't really create an income, but over time you can attract a large following of people, which will position you as an expert and someone that people know, like, and trust. So a blog is a really great way for people to get to know you. You can even, they call it like vlogging, which is like video blogging. That's something that I prefer to do rather than blog. Just a little tip that I'm adding in here right now. You could do a vlog or do like a Facebook Live or something, you know, or a webinar like this. You can send it off to someone to get transcribed. It comes to you all written out, and you can turn that into a blog. So there's so many different ways to blog, okay? But if you're just blogging every day for the sake of blogging, that's good. You know, over time, you're going to build a following, but that doesn't necessarily monetize. You have to get to the point of monetization. So once you build a platform, that's when you can monetize your blog. You know, when you have people coming to your blog, you know, you have people reading it, you know, look at the analytics of your blog. There's so many different ways you can create a blog, like through, let's see, I use WordPress. You could do Squarespace, you could do Weebly, Blogspot, all these different ways to just easily set up a blog and get started, and then start trying to get a platform built and bringing people to your blog. So let's go over really quick. I'm going to go over 7 different ways here to monetize your blog that you may or may not know about. So ad networks. Do you guys know what ad networks are? I wrote some notes here, so you're going to see me looking down. So monetizing your blog with ad networks, what that does is basically advertisers get to put their ad on your website, and you'll get paid every time that people click on that ad or per 1,000 views, all right? Number 2 would be affiliate advertising. So you promote a company or a product, and that results in a commission to you. Or if people, it only results in a commission to you if people click on there and they actually buy it. So a lot of times with affiliates, they'll give you like your own personal ID or something. So you might have something on your website, you know, that says, this is a really great program, you know, check it out, click here. And they click on there, and there's going to be like your ID or something attached to it. And so when they go back to that person's website, that person will know that they came from your blog, and you'll get paid for that. And everyone does it differently. It might be like, you might get like a 10% commission, or you might get a flat commission for each person, you know, that purchases that product or course or whatever it is that you're promoting. Affiliate's going to be a really great way actually to earn money with your blog. So private advertising, this is something that you can set up yourself. Basically, private companies will pay you to advertise on your website. So yeah, that sounds great to have that happen, and it can bring you a lot of income. But you know, you have to first have a blog that people want to advertise on, that has a constant flow of people. So just keep that in mind. You know, I'm gonna tell you this so many times in this webinar, but it takes time to build a following, and it takes time to build a platform and to get consistent traffic to your blog. So that's the beauty of being a stay-at-home mom, though, is that we don't have the pressure to like make $1 million next month, right? We have the opportunity to do this over time and really build it right. So next, sponsored blog posts and brand promotion. This is basically getting paid to promote brands or products in your blog post. So someone might come to you, they have a product or a brand, and it's going to say, okay, I'm going to pay you $50 for writing a blog post and promoting my product. Okay, selling products, and we're going to get more into this at the end of the webinar, and you're going to see that these things are going to start to kind of, how do I say, bleed into one another, okay? So at the end, we're going to talk about informational products, but this is basically informational products. So you can sell products on your blog. Let's say you write an ebook, or you have an e-course, you have PDF downloads, things like that. That's another way to make money through your blog. And selling services. Again, we're going to go over this when we talk about coaching and consulting. But you might have a service that you can put on your blog that people can sign up for. and writing and speaking. So one way to monetize your blog is, actually going outside of your blog and writing for other blogs, other websites. Your website, your blog is really a great way to just promote yourself and for people to see what you do. And gosh, you could put a tab up on your blog that says, work with me or have me speak at your event. People click on that and they'll consider, do I want this person to speak at my event, which is really neat. And it's one thing to get there though, is you want to have some videos on your website, right? So people can see you and know you and see how you talk and see your personality. So doing a mixture of blogging, writing, and doing the vlogging or, the videos is a great way for that to happen, to maybe get some speaking engagements. So here are my blogging tips for you. One, choose 1 to 2 ways to monetize your blog and focus first on building those streams of income, okay? Don't try to do all streams of income at once. It's the same piece of advice that I give people who are starting to use different social media platforms. Like when you're starting out your business, you don't want to be on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Twitter, and try to do all these at one time. Like you're going to just become overwhelmed. You want to choose 1 to maybe 2 and focus on that. And when you have a system down and you're starting to see that monetize, going back to monetizing your blog, then you're going to become faster at it or whatever you're doing. And then you're going to have some extra time now to start looking into another way to monetize your blog. So don't try to do it all at first. Just focus on 1 to 2 ways to monetize. Connect with influencers so you can tap into their networks. So let me give you an example of this. So let's say you have a blog and your blog is about giving tips and giving your experience of being a mom, a new mom with an infant. All right, so you're talking about working with babies who are small, 1 week, 2 weeks, 6 weeks old, 3 months, and you want to bring traffic to your blog. Don't go look for other bloggers who are writing about the same thing you are. What you want to do is you want to go find other people who might be providing services or products to your target audience. So if your target audience are new moms that have infants, maybe you're going to go contact a baby photographer who does, new baby photos and say, hey, I'd really like to interview you on my website, or I'd like to offer something to maybe to write an article to put on your website, for your readers, and whatever it is. Basically, you're tapping into their network, or you're going to contact someone that makes really cute hair bows for little girls. Find a way to build a relationship with that person, and you guys can swap and introduce your networks to another. And again, realize that this takes time to build. Okay, none of this happens overnight, and if you're not in it for the long haul, you're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to get frustrated and you're going to give up. Okay, make sure that when you start blogging that you do it at a pace that you can handle, and you'll get quicker at it. You'll get quicker at writing as time goes on, but don't set out to write a blog post every day and then by week 2 you're like, oh, I can't even do this anymore. Maybe your first goal is to just write 1 blog post a week and then post it on social media, try to drive traffic back to your blog. And as you get quicker at it, and then you're going to move to 2 blog posts a week and so on. Also, make sure that your blog is focused on attracting a specific niche audience. Like if you're just writing a blog that's just for moms and you're writing on a whole different range of topics, what's going to make you different? What's going to make you different from that other mom blogger down the road? You're always going to be, in business in general, you're always going to be more successful if you really narrow down your niche. And when you do that, you're basically telling that person when they come to your website, they're going to look at it and they're going to say, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I need. Okay. So for instance, youaremorethanmom.com. We're not just about providing resources to every single mom out there. No, we are providing resources for moms who are professionals who left their careers to be stay-at-home moms, right? It's not for any mom. It's for stay-at-home moms who used to be professionals or had a career. Okay, check out Ruth Soukup. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. She is a great resource on blogging. She has a blogging academy that you can sign up for and a ton of great free resources. Check her out. All right, let's talk about direct sales. Direct sales, also known as network marketing, multi-level marketing, or MLM. Now, I'm just going to talk a little bit about sometimes what is the elephant in the room with MLM, because a lot of people have a negative connotation to it. You're either thinking pyramid scheme right now, or you might be thinking scam. Well, let me tell you what a pyramid scheme is. A pyramid scheme is when you sign up to sell a product and there is really no product. Instead, the only way to make money is by signing up people. Okay, that is an illegal pyramid scheme or a scam. All right, so that's what it is. You can actually be really successful in doing direct sales. So let's go a little bit more into this. An example of direct sales companies would be like Mary Kay, doTERRA Oils, Rodan Fields, Premier Jewelry, Origami Owl, 31 Gifts, Jamboree Nails, Tupperware, Beachbody. Man, I can go on and list so many of these companies. And I'm sure that you can think of at least 2 to 3 of your mom friends right now that are in some kind of direct sales business, right? Because they might be posting all over Facebook about it. Anyways, I could give a whole talk on this, and we're gonna actually in April, our focus is gonna be on direct sales and giving you good information. I have a direct sales checklist that I just put together for you. That's going to be a resource for you. So if you were thinking about partnering with a direct sales company, you can go through the checklist and make sure you find out everything you need to know before you make the jump to partner with a direct sales company. So over the next couple months, what we're going to do is we're going to break down these 5 different types, and we're going to bring in experts who have had real success with these different things like direct sales, blogging, consulting, things like that, and we're going to focus more in on it. So this is just the overview, but we're going to really dig in more over the next few months. So partnering with a direct sales company is really a great way to start a business with a company that already has products for you to sell. You get a support system to plug into, and you get training, all right? So keep that in mind. It's a great way to build residual income. So usually with a direct sales company, there's 2 ways to create an income. One of them is through selling the products, and the other way would be through team building, okay? But remember what I told you before is that the pyramid scheme scam, that's when it's only team building and there isn't any product to sell. So you want to make sure you stay away from any of that kind of stuff, okay? The ones I mentioned here, they're not scams, they're totally legit businesses. So with residual income, you can build residual income through selling products that people sign up or people buy, and it signs up for like auto shipments every month. And also through bringing in other people that sign up under you, and usually make kind of either commission or some kind of bonus off of what they sell. So let me give you some direct sales tips, okay? Like I said, I could talk about this for a whole other hour. I'm not going to, but I'm going to give you my top tips here, okay? Find a product you are passionate about or have experience about, because the last thing you want to do is to feel salesy. Because I know you can think of some people right now that are totally salesy and are partnered with a direct sales company. The way to really have success at this is not to sell, but to share. And the way you share is by sharing your experience, sharing your passion with the products, and giving so much value to people that when they decide that they need your product, that they come to you. Because the reality is that with direct sales companies, there are thousands upon thousands of people who are distributors, consultants, coaches, whatever you're going to call them, thousands of them, and they're all selling the same product. So you need to be able to distinguish yourself from those other people. And at the end of the day, people don't buy products, they buy you. So you have to find a way to build a bridge and connect with people on a different level and provide them so much value that when they're ready, that they come to you and they don't go to the person next door or the other person they see that's posting all over Facebook. So to be successful, you have to treat this like a business, because it is one, and it's not a hobby. If you want to get into a direct sales company and treat it like a hobby and just sell here or there, maybe do a party 1 month, not do a party the next month, that's a hobby. When you treat it like a business, that's when you make money like it's a business. That's when you start to create a paycheck every week that is a consistent paycheck. Treating your business like a business is when you have business goals and you have no matter what goals, which means that if this month your goal is to host free online parties or in-home parties, or to run free challenge groups for one group, then the next month that is your goal too. You're not taking 1 month off and taking another month off, okay? What happens is people treat it like a hobby and then they quit after 2 months because they're like, oh, I didn't make any money. A direct sales business takes just as much work as all these other businesses I'm going to talk about. And it takes just as much work as starting a brick and mortar business down the street. You have to realize that. You have to be in it, okay? Focus on building relationships and not selling. So I just kind of touched on that just briefly, is that it's really relationship building. At the end of the day, you got to give people a reason to buy from you and not that person, next door that sells that same product as you. You have to build relationships. You also need to make sure that you're learning good marketing strategies. If not, you'll be seen as salesy and as a spammer. And especially if you're doing this on Facebook, people will either block you. If you're sharing links to your products on your Facebook personal page and saying, buy from me, Facebook will actually shut you down. Because if you ever notice, if someone posts something and then you don't want to see it, you can click on it at the top and then it'll be a drop-down list and it'll say, why don't you want to see this? And it will ask you, and it'll ask if it's a business. And if you click business and it actually sends a red flag to Facebook and it'll shut that person's business down. So be very careful if you're in direct sales right now on how you share on your personal page. Definitely have a business page on Facebook because you can go all out there. But even on that page, don't post things like buy from me. Don't post product pictures all the time. Don't post links that just go directly to your sales page. No, remember, you need to focus on building relationships. Don't be that salesy, spammy person, because again, all of us can think of 2 to 3 people right now that are really annoying that post on Facebook all day about their stuff, and they ended up getting blocked. You don't want that to be you, okay? We want to learn good marketing strategies. So this is my own personal opinion, so take it for what it's worth. Find a company that ships for you and doesn't require you to stock product. If you have to put in, you're going to have to decide if this is what you want to do, but there are some companies out there that make you buy the product first, and then once you buy it, it's up to you to sell it. I personally would want to find a company that you just send someone to your website once you've determined what product they need. They buy through that website and it gets shipped to them. I don't want to deal with shipping. I don't want to deal with shipping costs. I don't want to deal with having a garage full of stuff that my husband's looking at all day saying, when are you going to get rid of it, right? So you got to find a company that really matches with your lifestyle, what you want. And be willing to invest at least a year into building your business before you decide to quit or move on to something else. People quit direct marketing or direct sales businesses all the time way too fast because they thought that they were just going to go and tell everybody, oh, look, now I'm selling makeup. Look, I'm selling jewelry, and that they were going to have a flood of people coming to them to purchase. That is not what happens. The market is so saturated right now anyways with direct sales. You really need to build relationships, and it's only going to happen over time. So make sure that you invest at least a year, because by 6 months, by 9 months, you're going to start to see the momentum if you're really treating it like a business and building relationships with people. All right, so let's go next to selling products on Etsy or eBay. So I did research for this because I have not actually done this. I could absolutely put together like a marketing plan and tell you, how to market your products, how to get your products out there to get them seen, but I've never actually sold anything on Etsy. So the information I'm giving you right now is information that I found myself, and at the end, I'm going to give you a website that you can go to where you can even learn more, and we'll even add those in the comments below, okay? So selling products on Etsy or eBay gives you a chance to set up a store and sell your handmade goods like with Etsy, or your finds on eBay without having to put a website together. So if I understand it correctly, on Etsy, it has to be handmade goods. You need to find out what kind of stuff you can sell on there because they do have limitations. But on eBay, you can sell basically anything, okay? It's a great way to get paid for your creative work. So here are some things to consider. So selling on websites like Etsy or eBay, it will cost you. So do your research and find out what the fees are. There are fees for Etsy, eBay, other websites. It's different for everything. So make sure you do your diligence and find out what those fees are. Okay. Don't upload 100 items to sell if you don't have the capability or capacity to handle that much volume at one time. So for about 2 years, I had a business where I made handmade pasta. I dried it and I bagged it and I sold it. And I did it all just person to person. I didn't do any online kind of selling, but I did consider maybe going onto Etsy and selling that way. Well, my biggest fear was that I was going to have people buying, but that I ran out of product. And now there's going to be all this pressure on me that, oh my gosh, I need to create more pasta, I need to make more pasta, and it was going to overtake my life. So you want to start off small. You really have to sit down and think, okay, how much time do I have? Do I have time to ship this stuff, baggage, packaging things? That's going to cost money. You just have to think about what can you really do with your time right now. So how much time do you have to create and make your product and really be able to sustain a constant flow of product? So let me give you an example. Let's say you went to Starbucks down the street and you went on a Wednesday. You know they're open every day, but Wednesday they were closed. That would kind of be weird. You might think, okay, maybe something's wrong. I'll try going tomorrow. Let's say you go Thursday and they're open. You go on Saturday and you realize they're closed. And then Sunday they're closed and Monday they're closed. The fact is, and this really goes across every kind of business, especially direct sales, is if you're not consistent with it, you don't have a constant flow of product, if that coffee shop's not open every day, eventually someone's going to find another coffee shop and you're going to end up going to Coffee Bean or Pete's Coffee. Okay? You got to be consistent. You have to have a consistent flow of product. Let's say you're selling on Etsy planners for moms. And let's say you have a ton of product in March, but you run out in April, you have nothing. And people start coming to your Etsy store and they see you're out of product, you're just going to go to someone else and find it there. So make sure you have enough time to create and make your product and have a constant flow. For your product to sell, you need high quality photographs. You just can't chintz out on this. You really need to have high quality photographs and you need to have superb branding. Know who your target audience is. From what I understand, from what I've read, you can't have like a hodgepodge of items, right? So you can't be selling baby blankets, jewelry, and journals at the same time. Again, this goes back again to really finding your niche audience and specializing and narrowing down that audience, okay? And you need to understand pricing. Okay, here's one resource I want to give you. I found this really great website called handmadeology.com. There are a ton of articles to read on there with so much information, and they cite so many other articles on other websites. Go there and learn more about selling on Etsy and eBay. All right, let's talk briefly about coaching, consulting, and offering services. Okay, so providing a service is a great way to earn an income and use your experience to enrich the lives of others. Okay, so think about this. Coaching is really great if you have an experience and you really want to help someone get through that experience. I highly recommend reading a book called The Millionaire Messenger, Make a Difference in Fortune, Sharing Your Advice by Brendon Burchard. I read this book and it was like the light bulb went off in my head. You got to read it. So also, becoming a consultant or offering a service can be one way that you can directly translate your career skills, your degree into a work-at-home business. Like, let's say you used to do drafting or residential home design like I used to do, or you work as a graphic designer, someone in marketing, accounting, or counseling. That's something that you really can directly bring home and be a consultant or offer a service to companies or other people who need your help. So if you were in an office and you used to work in the marketing department and you did all the graphics and brochures and things for that business you worked for, it's very easy to be able to do that at home and market yourself to businesses and work from home and do that. So let's talk about coaching a little bit. What people don't understand is that coaching isn't counseling, okay? Counseling, you're sitting on someone's couch, you're talking to them about your problems, you're digging deep in the past. Coaching isn't about that. Coaching is about holding someone accountable to meet their goals and breaking it down into steps to help them get there and see them succeed. So you can do coaching in so many different areas or life areas. You can do health and fitness coaching. You can do business coaching. You can do life coaching. There's so many areas that you can branch into with this. So coaching is great for anyone who loves encouraging people and teaching. Like, this is totally my wheelhouse. I love coaching people. I love reverse engineering. I love seeing the vision of what they want to create, reverse engineering it, breaking it into steps that they can now take to start and work towards that vision and see success. So think, do you love to mentor others? Do you love to help others succeed? Coaching, consulting, offering some kind of service is a great way to do that. And believe it or not, people will pay for your expertise, knowledge, and your know-how and guidance. Don't limit yourself and think that people won't pay for this. They will. People want to work with others that have gone through the same thing that they have and learn lessons. And instead of going through those lessons themselves, they'd rather learn it from you. Okay? So think about areas that you would just love to teach. So ask yourself, like, what am I good at? What do I love talking about or giving advice about, even if I wasn't getting paid for it? If there's something that you love talking about and you can talk about it for hours and you do it for free all day, that is something that you can coach people on. Think about what topics energize you, and do you have an experience that changed your life that you would love to help other people succeed in? So before I go on to digital products, I do want to say one thing. Let me go back. Is that you don't necessarily always have to go back to school for any of this stuff, especially if you want to become a coach or do something like that. You could go back and get a certification, which is good, but you can also just use your experience and share with people. There's so much to say about the experience you have, and there's stuff that God's given you, experiences that He's walked through with you. There's skills and talents that He's given you and passions that you're naturally gifted and have strengths at. You don't have to go back to school for it. Okay, so get out of that thinking you've got to always go back to school, or that you're defined by your degree. You're not. You can reinvent yourself. Okay, digital products and information. Providing digital products that people can purchase, like that go hand in hand with a coaching consultant or service business, are great. And bloggers can use this to generate income through their website. So digital products like ebooks, e-courses, video series, PDFs. There's so much stuff. If you get that book, The Millionaire Messenger by Brendon Burchard, he goes through this and gives so many examples of different digital products and information that you can sell. People will pay for your knowledge, and you don't have to actually work directly with that person. So let's say you have a consultant business, a coaching business, and you do take on some one-on-one clients, but there's people maybe who can't afford your one-on-one offering, okay? You could create an e-course or a PDF or something that they can purchase and download that they can actually go and use like as a self-study course they could go on and use themselves, okay? So the great thing about digital products is that it's a stream of income you can have on your blog, on your website, that you can make money with while you sleep. There have been times when I've woken up and I've seen that people have purchased certain things that I have on my website, and voila, I have money in the account. So we're going to wrap it up here, but I want to talk quickly about how all of these businesses can work together. So think, you've got a blog, you've got a website, all right? That blog or website, you can use that to drive traffic to these other businesses that you might have. And in a blog and a website, it gives people the chance to get to know you and your message. It brings up that know, trust, and like factor. So blogging is a great way to bring traffic to your Etsy store. Maybe you have a store that sells baby bows. You're going to create a blog or a website and write articles about how to get your baby to go to sleep at night, within the first few months, or things like that. Like, you're going to provide info and information. It's going to get people to your website, and then they're going to see you have an Etsy store, and they're like, oh, I really love what she's selling there. You're driving traffic. Same thing with direct sales. There's so many strategic ways to get people to buy your products through direct sales. So let's say you have an oils, you're partner with an oils direct sales business. You might have a blog or website where you're writing blog posts or articles talking about natural living, how to, keep your skin clean and feel good and energized. And you can introduce your oils and the products you have that you sell through your direct sales company and drive traffic from your blog to that direct sales business. Same thing with your consulting business. On your blog, your website, you're going to write articles or do videos, talking about the whys of why people might need your help, or giving tips and trainings on certain topics that are going to start to build your authority and your expertise, and it's going to drive customers to your consulting business, people that want to work with you. Also, let's say you have a consulting or a coaching business. Now you can start bringing in the informational products so that now you can bring in other streams of income and be able to grow your business without spending more time working one-on-one with people. You save your one-on-one, your precious one-on-one time for your high-paying clients, and then you have your lower-priced items, which are your self-study courses, your how-to products or videos, okay? So we're at the end. I'm going to give you now my top success tips that really go and expand over all of these businesses. Number one, I'm hammering it home here. Realize that it takes work and it takes time. Be willing to invest time. You've got to be willing to invest time. That's the blessing of being a stay-at-home mom. Yeah, there's going to be deadlines that you got to make for yourself to get things done, but you can work at it on your own pace. You're not working for anyone else. It's up to you what pace you want to work at. Great book, The Compound Effect, Jump Your Income, Your Life, Your Success by Darren Hardy. The whole idea of this book, what he teaches is that over time, if you make small good decisions, small steps, over time, you're going to build momentum. So you're not going to see it so much in the first month. You might not see it in 3 months, but 6 months, 12 months, and 18 months, you're going to start to see it compound. That's the compound effect. This is a great read for anybody. It applies to business, it applies just to your personal life. Get this book. Okay, you got to figure out who your target audience is. Who is your perfect customer? Who do you want to work with? People are going to buy from you if you have something that absolutely addresses their needs. So find a need and solve a problem. Okay? You have to find a need and solve a problem. And use social media. Make it your best friend. Social media can be very overwhelming to many people. We're actually going to spend the summer months with You Are the Mom focusing on social media, sharing some tips and strategies there. But social media is a great way to drive traffic to your blog, to your website, your direct sales company, Etsy. You got to use it. You got to use it. So let me end here just by telling you what's available to you through yourmorethanmom.com. So first, you've got to download the Uniquely You website at www.uniquelyyouworkbook.com. It's a 20-page workbook that I put together for you. It goes through tons of questions. If you don't have a business yet, or maybe you do have a business yet, but you're having trouble really narrowing down where you want to go with it, what your focus should be on, what your target audience should be, download the workbook and start going through it. The first 75% of the workbook is going to be questions. They're going to ask you things like, what did you like to do when you were a kid in school? What did you do when you came home from school? What were you doing? Were you drawing? Were you playing music? Were you playing with friends? What were you recognized for in school? What did you study in college? What are your strengths? What were your strengths in the workplace? What were your weaknesses? What are the tasks that you do every day right now? Because those tasks that you do right now, they can be totally turned into a business, okay? So you're going to go through that, and then at the end, you're going to go through the brainstorming exercise. We're going to take your 5 top passions, and you're going to break them down into subtopics. And then you're going to choose one of those passions, and you're going to take one of those subtopics, and you're going to break it down into 10 more subtopics. You're going to really narrow down, and you're going to see that you actually have a lot of knowledge in certain areas, and that is knowledge that you can sell. That's knowledge that you can build a business on. So the next thing would be to purchase our Uniquely You Starter Bundle. So this goes with the workbook. What you get is you get our 4-part video series that will lead you through the workbook. And what I love about this is that I broke the workbook down into 4 parts. So a lot of times we start a workbook and we get so busy that we never get to finishing it. Well, if you get the starter bundle, you can start with video 1 that will take you through the first quarter of the workbook. Stop, go back to it the next week or a day later, however you want to do it. But in this video series, I'm going to help you make sense of your brainstorming exercise to end, so you really can narrow it down to 1 to 2 solid business ideas. I'm also going to give you personal examples that you're going to see basically my own personal examples and how I've broken down my businesses, okay? And how I've gotten to places where I'm like, no, I don't really want to do this, or I'm going to show you how you can take that idea and put together like a really short business plan on how to start building a platform for your business and driving traffic, okay? So that's not included in the workbook. In the workbook, I don't go into that, but in the last video of the video series, I do go into that. You're also going to get my bonus PDFs. You're going to get the market survey worksheet, which, okay, let's just be honest here and say that there really aren't any new ideas under the sun. Everything's already been done, but that doesn't mean that you can't have a successful business. And so first we need to survey the market and look at, okay, who else is doing what I am doing? I'm going to share with you how to go onto Google, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and to search and find other people who are doing what you want to do. And I want you to look at those people, and I want you to look and say with a critical eye and say, what are they doing that's great? What are they doing that's bad? You know, that maybe isn't working very well, and what are some areas that they're not providing services in? What are some holes that maybe they have that you can fill? And then you got to figure out who your ideal client is. So you're going to get my ideal client worksheet. And in that worksheet, we're going to figure out who you want to work with. Because let's say that you want to provide a course on how to make meals for large families. Well, or let's say you want to maybe put a video course together on how to make meals for families, okay? But you need to figure out who's your ideal client. Are they going to put a video course together for people who have small families, large families, maybe they're rural families or urban families where two parents are working and they don't have time to make food, okay? Figuring out who your ideal client is, it lets you narrow down what you're offering, narrow down your audience, and that gives you the ability to speak directly to that person and really connect with them, that person that you're going to be offering your service or your product to. Because when you have someone who comes to your webpage, you want them to be able to say, oh my gosh, that's for me. I haven't found it anywhere else. All right, so you need to learn who your ideal client is to be successful at any of this. Now, with all of this said, some of you might be thinking, when do I have the time to even start a business? Or you have a business and you have just found that it's so hard to make the time. We are putting together a group coaching class in May called Take Back Your Time. It's 4 weeks. It's going to be once a week. We're going to get together on a Zoom chat, video chat, and we're going to learn how to take back our time, look at our time, and learn how to put systems together, plug our time into systems that are going to teach us how to actually carve out time consistently every day. What's going to make this time management course different is that it's going to be built on solid biblical principles, okay? This isn't just for anybody. I'm not going to just give you a system and say, oh, you have 10 things you need to do today. I'm going to show you how to get it done in one day. No, we're going to actually look and say, what is my goal for my family? Am I feeling tired? Am I feeling overwhelmed? Am I exhausted? What is the structure that God wants us to use for rest? And why does he want us to rest? We need to make sure that the way we use our time is still putting our first priorities first, which is the things that he's only given us, which is our family. And again, like I said in the beginning of this webinar, is that my goal isn't to show you how to create a business and then work out 80 hours a week. I don't want your business time to bleed into your family time, because once that happens, then your family feels neglected. And God doesn't want that to happen, right? And look, this is a question that I ask myself right now, that I'll ask myself right now, and that I always ask myself. Is how I'm managing my time right now showing God that I can actually add more into my schedule, that I handle more? So if you feel like the way you're managing your time right now isn't the best, then we need to hone in on your time management and what you're doing with your time, dial it in, and make you ready to be able to say, okay, now I have carved out some time for myself to either pursue my passions, start my business, or go back to the business I already have and grow that business. So I'm going to provide the link below in the comments area for the interest list for this. We're still working out the details, but it's going to happen in May. It's going to be 4 weeks. Put yourself on the interest list, because if you're on the interest list, you're going to get the chance to sign up for the class first and register. We're only going to open it up to about 10 people. So if you're on the interest list, you get the opportunity to sign up first. And visit youaremorethanmom.com. We have a ton of awesome resources for you. We have teaching videos. We have awesome blog posts, things that I've written, but also we brought in a ton of guest posts from other people who have other specialties. Learn from them. Download our free resources. Watch our More Than Mom interviews. I love doing the interviews. And just learn. And lastly, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Pinterest, and share us with your friends. So that's what I got for you today. I'm now going to go on my phone so I can see the comments that you guys have left. And if you have any questions, so if you have some questions, comment. I will answer them to the best of my ability. Realize that there's about a 10-second delay, so it might take me a minute to see your comment come up. Delay, so it might take me a minute to see your comment come up. I'm going to turn off the sound here. Delay, so it might take me a minute to see your comment come up. I'm going to turn off the sound here. I don't know how to turn off the sound. All right. All right. So Fiona, you said that you need to enrich your blog. I'll take a look at your blog this week and see what you've got going on there. Here we go. Here's the volume. Yeah, you really do have to sit down and say, okay, where's my niche? And that doesn't mean that you can't like discuss different topics on your blog. You absolutely can. You know, on like You're More Than Mom, we talk about how to build businesses, but we're also, my goal is also the spiritual side of it is to help moms transition well from going from working mom to stay-at-home mom, because there aren't really resources out there for us. So again, it goes back to our twofold mission, and we can, you know, join those together. Let's see. Yeah, Brooke said you can even start your blog until you have 3 to 4 posts written and release it. Sorry, I'm having a problem. So if you have a busy week, this keeps going, because you have a big week, yeah. A good way to start your blog is definitely to sit down and write out the titles of your blog posts and write them out. And when you release your blog, maybe you already have like 5 blog posts up, okay? This is where the workbook will really help you. You gotta download the Uniquely workbook, because at the end, we go through the brainstorming exercise. So let's say your blog is about fitness, okay? And you put that in the brainstorming exercise at the end of the workbook. So you put fitness, and then you have to divide it up into 10 different categories, okay? So your categories might be fitness for moms, working out at home and not going to the gym, finding time to go to the gym, things that you can do at home, fitness apparel, things like that, okay? So you break it into 10 subtopics, and then you go choose one subtopic that you really love, and then break that down into 10 more. Like, let's say one of them is how to, you know, get in your workout at home as a mom. Then you can break it down into how to work out at home during your kids' nap time. How to, you know, 4 different exercises that you can do during the day while your kid's awake. And you'll see that these are now starting to turn into the titles of blog posts and content that you can create. Okay, what else we got here? Don't friend people you barely know and then private message them about a sale. Oh, please don't do this. This has to do with direct sales mainly that Brooke's posting. Yeah, you don't want to start messaging people. I get them all the time. Like I just got, I think 2 in the last week of people that I haven't heard from in years, and all they did was cut and paste inviting me to an online party. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. It's relationship building. Let's see. Brooke said, I'm not in direct sales, but I ship books for my 2 last launches, and it is a pain. Yeah, having to ship is a pain. Nikki, yeah, you'll be able to pop in here and watch this in our group. And Sophia said, I love how you wrap them all together because I feel I'm in the right path. Awesome. Sophia, you got so many great ideas. You really, really do. Thank you. You said that may God continue to bless you greatly. Thank you so much, you guys. If you have any more questions, I'll hang on for about 5 more minutes. I do have an appointment that I have to go to. Let me close this up and stop the screen share. All right. Sophia said, I am working on the workbook right now. I have about 60 posts, but they're everywhere. My blog was just an outlet of creativity, but now you're more focused. There are so many ways to like come up with content, and it can be so overwhelming sometimes, but sometimes what I've done is I've written a blog. Usually when I write, I don't write really expressively. I'm very much one of those people, like I want to give you bullet points. Like I'm a teacher kind of when I blog and I write. And I don't even consider myself a blogger, but I just do it because I have to give people good ideas. Like that's how I'm going to share my ideas. So
I'll write a blog post and I'll have like 4 main ideas. And then once it's done, then I'll take each idea and then I'll do a video on it. And then there you go. There's a 4-part video series that you could go more in depth with, that you can put on your website, that people could purchase, that you could just use as content on your Facebook business page or Instagram. You could go to your blog post or that video, you can pull out quotes and then make graphics. A great website to use to make graphics would be like Canva, canva.com. And you can pull out quotes and graphics and make quick graphic images that you can now post on Instagram, on Facebook, everywhere, and keep redirecting people back to your blog. Any other questions? Veronica had posted in our group, she was asking about Etsy and like logos and branding and graphics and stuff. Like you could definitely delegate that out and hire someone on like Fiverr or Upwork. I've used both. Well, no, I've used Upwork and it's been hit or miss. I actually had an assistant that worked for me for almost 2 years, maybe it was 1.5 years, and I found her through Upwork, and she is awesome. I love her. She doesn't work for me anymore, but I'd love to have her come back and work for me. She's great. But then I've had some really other bad experiences. So it's hit and miss. I say if you go to one of those services, you definitely have to be very clear about what you're asking for. If you can find a referral of someone, like if you know of someone that does graphic design, or you have a friend who knows of someone, you know, that they kind of vouch for that person, then that's a really good route to go to get that kind of thing set up. We're going to talk more about this stuff in detail over the year. Like I said, in the summer, we're going to talk more about like social media and stuff, and I'm going to definitely pull you guys and see what you want to learn more about in that area, and we can discuss that more. Adobe Spark is also pretty good. I've never used Adobe Spark. I use Photoshop a lot in Illustrator. All right, you guys. Well, if you have any other questions, let me know, post below. I'm going to log off now. I have an appointment that I have to go to at 11. I'll jump back into the group this afternoon and go ahead and answer any more questions you have. Thank you so much for joining me today. Seriously, like it's such a pleasure. And yesterday I just felt so humbled. Like I was just praising the Lord because our group is growing. It's so fun to meet other people who have similarities and are trying to pursue the same things. And as a work-at-home mom, it could be a little difficult sometimes because you don't necessarily feel like you fit into this just stay-at-home moms. You don't feel like you fit into the groups of moms that are working outside the home. So it's neat to build a community of people here. We have the same passions and we want to learn from each other and just to support one another. So thank you so much. Thank you. All right, everybody, have a great day.